Then you're going to present on file item number 14, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, 1191 for Nazarian.
Yes, Quimby Act fees. File item number 14, AB 1191. Please proceed.
Mr. Chair and members, I'd like to thank the chair and the committee consultant for their work and time spent on working with the author's office on this bill. Quimby fees have been a vital tool in helping cities create parks throughout the Golden State. In Los Angeles, Quimby fees have generated interest which has remained unutilized due to past local administrative lapses and interpretation of state law. AB 1191 provides a solution for the city of Los Angeles to expend their Quimby interest in an equitable manner. It also clarifies the general use of Quimby interest as part of a Quimby fee for the state and prospectively for Los Angeles. Specifically, this bill until 2021 authorizes the city of Los Angeles to use interest earned on Quimby fees generated before 2016, regardless of where and when the fees which generated the interest were collected. This bill does not affect existing Quimby law for the rest of the state. AB 1191 requires Los Angeles uses Quimby interest in line with the goals and objectives of the State Quimby Act while providing clarity on how interest on Quimby fees should be used moving forward. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Those in support?
Sylvia Solis on behalf of the City of Los Angeles. The city is the sponsor of this measure. The city attorney has opined to our local Recreation and Parks Department that existing law, the existing Quimby Act, does not address the administration of interest income generated from these fees. And so they would like it to be more explicit in state law that we can use this interest income. So it would just provide more certainty.
There's $17 million, I'm told, sitting in that account?
Yes,
something
there's
like that,
17 million just in interest income.
And this is former Assemblymember Mike Fuhr's advice. Any opposition to this measure? Any further question? Bill's been moved by who? Who moved it? I'm sorry, who moved it? Somebody then, oh, Senator Bell moved it. Eloquent close. This is due pass. Where are we looking at? File item number 14, AB due pass to the floor. Secretary, call the roll.
Hertzberg?
Aye.
Hertzberg, aye. Wynn? Bell? Aye. Bell, aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hernandez, aye. Laura? Aye. Laura, aye. Morlock? Pavley? Aye. Pavley, aye. You have 5-0.
5-0. We'll hold that open. File item number 15, AB 1251. Chairman Gomez.
Mr. Chair and Senators, I'm presenting Assembly Bill 1251, which will help local governments develop greenways along urban waterways to connect communities and assist with urban greening. This bill defines a greenway as a bicycle and pedestrian non-motorized vehicle transportation and recreational travel corridor adjacent to an urban waterway. Furthermore, AB 1251 allows a tax-exempt nonprofit organization to obtain a newly developed greenway easement when they have the intent of preserving or developing a greenway. AB 1251 will provide local governments with the ability to apply for state alternative fuel funds, greenhouse gas reduction, and other land use funds. Finally, the analysis suggests considering moving greenway planning from the open space element of a local government general plan to the circulation section. We feel that the open space element remains the best option because of the multiple benefits that we seek to achieve while developing a greenway. Additionally, the City of Los Angeles includes greenways in the open space element of its general plan. I have a few witnesses in support and ask for your aye vote.
Okay, with support.
Jim Haupt from Friends of the Sacramento River Parkway. Though the motivation for this bill is primarily the work to complete the Los Angeles River Greenway, those of us who are pursuing parkways and greenways on urban waterways around the state believe this will help us as well. Therefore, we urge you to vote yes on AB 1251.
Good morning, Pablo Garza with the Nature Conservancy, and we have not submitted a letter but are in support. Thank the author for working with us to address the concern. And greenways provide tremendous benefits, active transportation, habitat, recreational opportunities, and we think it's a good thing to move forward with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sylvia Solis on behalf of City of.
Are you sure you want to do this? We have a 3 strikes and you're out rule. This is your 3rd bill in a row.
I'll be quick.
I don't mean quick, I mean a yes vote.
Well, Urge your I vote. The
No, I'm joking.
development, as was previously mentioned, the development of the Los Angeles River is a priority for the city and for Mayor Garcetti, and we believe this bill would be helpful in that endeavor, so we ask for your I vote.
And do you know what the impact's going to be? So we're going to do this greenway, which is great. I like it and support it, as you know. But do we have any diagnostic on that of what, we've got a 52-mile LA River, and there's certain areas where we're going to, these are basically easements in terms of what we're going to do. Have you done any homework to make a determination as to how much of an impact, how much land this is going to affect in LA River? Because that's really what it's about. If you haven't, you should.
What's that? Where you guys? First, we don't believe that's going to, I haven't done an analysis, and we're still doing that. This was a concept that was developed with the Los Angeles River Corporation and
Right.
how to implement the master plan for the LA River. There's some components where there's just, the river ends, right? We can't continue a bike path, we can't continue greening. But in the end, it's still going to be up to the local municipality to use their judgment on how this tool is used. And any city and any elected official in any capacity understands that any abuse of a tool like this could cause a backlash.
You can't, there's no eminent domain in this, correct?
No.
So it's all,
No, there's no eminent domain.
it's LA County flood. That's what I was just trying to get orders of magnitude what we're talking about. It's a great idea. So what the implementation looks like. Yeah.
The Army Corps?
Army Corps of Engineers, yeah. Yeah. Oh, please. I want to pass special laws that keep them out of the state. Bill's been moved by Senator Pavley. Senator Laura.
Thank you. I think this is a very important bill. I do want to have further conversations on ensuring that those of us on the southern part of the river have also an opportunity to take advantage of this tool. Given the fact that some of our cities down the southern part of the river are not as sophisticated as the city of LA, that will have a potential of utilizing this tool more efficiently to gain more money and to really get into ensuring that we look at the entire river. And I know Chairman Gomez and I have had several conversations of ensuring how do we partner up with the city of LA, with the smaller jurisdictions to allow us to really look at its river in its entirety and not just focus on the northern part. So I think it's a great bill.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? Your question for Senator Morlock?
Mr. Chairman, I missed the presentation by Assemblyman Gomez, but so I'm
Thank you.
I tried my best.
Mind blown. Ricardo was like, mind blown.
Film at 11, okay. My notes show that current law doesn't prohibit cities and entities from doing these greenways, so I'm just kind of curious. It says there's nothing in current law which prohibits them from doing so on their own accord. So is that true?
Yeah, there's nothing that prohibits a jurisdiction developing a greenway, but this is a tool to help them to accomplish that goal. The Los Angeles River is a complex river because its jurisdictions are covered by the Army Corps of Engineers, the county flood control, the city of Los Angeles, private property owners off to the sides of the river. But it's a complex structure that we have to kind of try to navigate. And this would give a tool, and the way we did it in the city of Los Angeles, we set up a revitalization corporation to develop a greenway. And they're the ones that are supposed to get private funding, state funding, federal funding, and then develop a vision to help create, based on the general master plan of the city of Los Angeles, to develop the greenway. So this will just allow them an extra tool to create that greenway. So it's really how do we connect all 51 miles. The city of LA is not going to be the only one. In south of the city of Los Angeles, in the south of LA, you have multiple jurisdictions that cover the river, and how do you get them to, if you can't get them to work together, how do you get an entity that will be able to develop the greenway along those cities? So this is just a tool that allows them to get there a little bit quicker. And it's not easy.
I see opposition, anybody here in opposition to the measure? Okay, any further questions from the members? We had a motion, I believe, by Senator Pavley, and that motion is, would be due pass to appropriations. Anything further, Mr. Chairman?
First I ask for your aye vote. This is an issue that we're working on for the city of Los Angeles, but it's going to benefit the entire state. At the same time, one of the questions is one of the biggest challenges regarding the development of greenways funding, and that is part of the case. That's why we fought to get some resources into the Prop 1, but we're also fighting for a general plan on through a different bill that I'm authoring to create a Cal River program that allows us to have continual funds to help develop greenways throughout the state. And how do you use that money to reduce greenhouse gases? So it's, I'm trying to look at it from multiple angles, and not just one. So I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you so much. We have a motion to pass to, was it appropriations? Secretary, call the roll.
Hertzberg.
Aye.
Hertzberg, aye. Wynn. Bell. Aye. Bell, aye. Hernandez. Hernandez, aye. Lara. Aye. Lara, aye. Morlock. Pavley. Aye. Pavley, aye.
What is it?
5-0.
5-0. We'll keep that open. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. File number 10, AB 571, and Assemblyman Chu, I'm so sorry you've been here for so long, back and forth. We didn't file an order. You were here. I was going to call you in advance, but you've been very patient, so I apologize. File number 10, AB 571.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the Senate. AB 571 would eliminate confusion regarding the standard of forgiveness for property owners who fail to file a change of ownership form. Under current law, these standards do not align, so interpretations of these laws vary across jurisdictions. AB 571 will fix this discrepancy and allow a penalty to be waived if the property owners are able to demonstrate that their failure to file was due to circumstances beyond their control and occurred notwithstanding the exercise of ordinary care. This clarification of the Revenue Taxation Code will benefit taxpayers who qualify for penalty forgiveness. I'll have my witness self-introduce.
Mr. Chair and members, Rob Grossglauser with the California Assessors Association. We believe the Assemblywoman articulated it well, but I'm here for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any further support, any opposition, any questions from the members? Bill's been moved by Senator Wynn. Anything further on a close?
I've got really difficult questions.
This is not a tax credit bill.
She has been paying attention. I like it. This is due pass to appropriation. Secretary, call the roll. Oh, what was it? Oh, but it says, I said Brown, due pass to appropriations on my deal. It says non-fiscal, but my notes, I don't know. Let's take a look at it. It's not fiscal, so I guess it's due pass to the floor. Due pass to the floor. Okay, Secretary, call the roll.
Hertzberg.
Aye.
Hertzberg, aye. Wynn.
Aye. Good check.
Wynn, aye. Bell. Aye. Bell, aye. Hernandez. Hernandez, aye. Lara. Morlock. Lara, aye. Morlock. Pavley. Pavley, aye. You have 6-0.
6-0. Hold that open for who's missing.
Morlock.
No, Morlock's not here. Did you?
Oh.
You voted aye? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Didn't you see me have
6, 7.
a heart attack?
I didn't hear him.
Did hear him. So it's 7-0. The first 7-0 vote of the day.
Woo.
Okay.
I tell you, there is.
Hallelujah. There's a God in heaven.
Grand finale.
Okay, here we go. File item number 11. Assembly Member Canton Chu, finally. Now, we'll make your presentation. We'll raise this LA issue, but go ahead, please. Thank you, sir. And thank you. You've been very, very patient. You're very gracious. Thank you, sir.
Not a problem. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and Senator. I'm here to present Assembly Bill 718. This bill will help those families who are temporarily in financial distress to maintain their routine, their daily routine. You know, oftentimes for people that have lost their homes, a person's vehicle is their only shelter and their means of transportation to school or to work, or in many cases, taking their kids to school. In those all too frequent situations, a car is their only remaining personal properties and asset of value. This bill is to ensure that no undue burden is not being placed on those already struggling to get by. Citing a person with no other housing options for resting or sleeping in a lawfully parked vehicle will impose fines they are very rarely have the means to pay and trap them in the cycle of endless ticket debt and often end with the impoundment of their vehicle. Subjecting a person experience homelessness is to this burden deprive them of their shelter, transportation, opportunity to retain housing, and you will hear the near next, their safety. So with me today is Melissa, who would like to share her personal story with us, and John Balter, Policy Director at Housing California. So with that, Mr. Chair, can I ask Melissa to proceed?
Please. Witnesses?
Okay. So in the fall of 2014, my name is Michelle. So I have 3 kids, 13, 12, and 6. We became homeless for 4.5 months, and I didn't expect it. I'm a very educated woman, and I didn't have anywhere to go at the moment, and the only thing that I had in my name was my car. So my car became our home for a short time, and it became our safety. So while those 4.5 months, while we were in that car, it provided us a safe place to be. It provided us a warm place to live, and it also provided me a place to be able to keep the kids, to be able to change the kids in order for them to get into school, in order for them to not skip days, or in order for them to do their homework at night, in order for us to find a church nearby in our community that maybe we can park by and sleep in the car. And also it helped us have our evening meals and our daily meals also as well. We also were grateful for the car because I was able to do my programs in CalWorks and be able to go to classes and continue job searching. And without the car, if I had been cited, given tickets, it would have been more of a burden for me because I didn't have much money at the time, and it would have caused more stress on myself, given that I already have 3 kids. That's a lot of stress already, but financially, it would have caused more stress because I would have been trying to I didn't have a job, and tickets build up, and they would have impounded my car. I wouldn't have been able to go anywhere. I've called shelters during that 4.5 months. Shelters would not accept us because my son was 13. We do have shelters in the Yolo County, but I did not have a place I did not want to leave my son out in the car while us 3 girls went into the shelters and slept. So I wanted to make that point as well. So I tried everything in my best to go into shelters, but our car was the only hope that we had. It was our safety net. It made me safe as a woman, as a single mother with my 3 kids, and it saved me in a time that I didn't know what to do in my crisis that I had. And if I would have gotten tickets or cited, I don't know what would have done. I don't know if the state would have taken away my kids. It would have broken up my family. I would have had more stress. It wouldn't have let me be the success that I am today. I just now got a part-time permanent job with Yolo County.
Ask you
and
now.
You
got a place to live?
I do have a place to live, and I'm being a successful single mom to my 3 beautiful kids.
Think all the kids are doing good?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. John Bowders, Policy Director at Housing California. Appreciate that we had the opportunity to hear from Michelle, and I just want to reiterate a couple things and then address just a couple comments raised in the analysis.
Okay.
Many people who experience homelessness in California, the housing crisis is a big issue, and many of the opponents to this bill are partners of ours on the long-term solutions to homelessness, affordable housing, financing, making sure that communities are adept and flexible to building housing for people of all economic needs. And we know that that is the long-term solution to homelessness. In the intermediary period, however, there are people who experience homelessness today, like Michelle. And for those people, housing isn't appearing on the radar tomorrow. And so for the question as to whether or not this is a solution to homelessness, we don't offer it up as the solution to homelessness. What we offer it up as is an opportunity to keep people who are experiencing homelessness from further miring themselves in poverty, further relying on the state and other resources to help sustain themselves, and making sure that we don't deprive people of the human dignity they deserve. This bill is very narrowly tailored to address a very finite purpose. A person who is sleeping in a lawfully parked car should not be in violation of local control ordinances related to their human need to rest. We are strong advocates of local control, and we understand and appreciate the dialogue we've had with the League of Cities, as well as the Police Chiefs Association, around the issues of local control. We think that the state has an obligation to balance those interests, and that the ability for a local government or a local municipality to decide for itself should be weighed against what the long-term objectives are and how they intersect with the state. And we just very strongly feel that this bill, a person's own personal private property, a person who needs that vehicle to access employment, job training programs like CalWorks that we've made available to many people who are homeless, housing opportunities, taking children to school, medical appointments, all of those things don't exist for people if we deprive them of the last known asset many of them have. And finally, the last thing I'd like to say about this, in support of this bill today, is that this is not just a matter of human dignity. It's easy to sit here and not appreciate fully what a person who's going through this type of experience feels. But when you punish a person civilly with a fine or the impoundment of their vehicle for something that is beyond their control, you crush hope. And you basically send the message that we really don't want to help. And we think that there are other local measures that are in place, that you can still enforce parking bans under this, you can still enforce other local regulations, you can still do a reasonable stop, things that are in plain sight or things that are subject to probable cause. There's nothing that impedes a law enforcement officer of engaging in normal question and answer, but there's no need to civilly penalize a person who has no other options. And so all we're asking today is to remove that from the ambit of local control, a very small carve-out that recognizes the dignity of people.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Frank Mecca, Executive Director of the County Welfare Directors Association. I represent local government agencies. They're the agencies that you entrust by law to do 2 major things: protect children and adults from abuse and neglect, and to fight poverty and promote self-sufficiency among low-income Californians. We believe that AB 718 is a very important measure to allow us to fulfill that duty that you entrust to us. I'm here to tell you that Michelle is a success story. There are many Michelles, and the housing affordability crisis and the increase in family homelessness and child homelessness has been the most difficult problem that the county human services agencies have been facing since the advent of the Great Recession. And we see what happens when families lose that lifeline, that connection that allows them to get their kids to school, to come to the welfare office, to be able to make their job training, to be able to go on interviews for employment. When that connection is severed because a fine becomes another fine, becomes a warrant, becomes an impound notice, we as a society pay more in the long run. And we as the local government agencies that you expect to get outcomes are compromised. And so for us, sort of local control is in the DNA of advocacy organizations that represent cities and counties and other local government agencies. And in this case, we know you've got to balance competing interests. And we would agree with Mr. Bowders. This is a very, very narrowly tailored bill that will help the county human services agencies do the job that you expect of us so that more people can be like
I just want to offer one amendment to your comments. There's only one Michelle.
Indeed.
There are people who are otherwise similarly situated, but God made only one, and she's sitting right before us. Others in support?
Michael Young on behalf of the California Labor Federation in strong support.
Thanks.
Karen Liggett, my other half of my...
You got a lot of halves.
Yeah, I got a lot of halves, but this one is the Yuba Sutter Homeless Consortium, and we do deal with this issue a lot in our area, and people like her, it's just an inkling of what we have to deal with, and they want the security of their cars for the security, because we have a lot of druggies going around, and at night they will attack you if you're in a tent, but if you're in a car, you're more safer.
That's right.
And a lot of kids, and especially seniors, that are not able to get in senior housing because there's long lists. They get in their cars and they go to a Walmart parking lot or somewhere safe so they're secure. So yeah, please get this bill passed.
Thank you so much.
Being on the executive board, I could tell you it's in bad need.
Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblyman, for this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Jessica Bartholow with the Western Center on Law and Poverty. We're strongly in support of this bill and appreciate the member introducing it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.